guess if you're testing missiles, you need some space. It's not like a little gun range. Oh, here's the actual White Sands missile range. Sure, I guess this is like a gator entrance or something to it. Yeah, full temps are like 205. That's pretty high. I don't see the hull get up that high too often. Engine brake prohibited. Are you serious? You get people killed if nobody could use their engine brake through there.
For Thursday, December 18, 2025, and is valid as of Thursday, December 17th at 3 p.m. Roadblocks are subject to change without notice. Highway 380 or Highway are scheduled to remain open all day. Highway 70 is scheduled to be blocked one time at 6:20 a.m. This block should last approximately 1 hour. This block will be located. If you have a question about a subject other than roadblocks, please call security. Again, roadblocks are subject to change without notice. Range control out.
We're taking that route down through Alamogordo. There's that White Sands missile range, you know, testing range down there. So sounds like they're going to be testing some missiles this morning, but if I heard them correctly, I listened to it twice. It's 6:20 a.m. and he said it would last for 1 hour. So we're up at this, where are we? We didn't make it to Tucumcari. There's this little local bar, the Annex Bar and Grill. It was just too tempting. We had to stop by. Actually, we ran out of hours. We didn't have the hours to get to Tucumcari, so we're in Logan, New Mexico, at the Annex. I think it's closed down. They didn't even have the place open last night when I got in. There's like a little gas station attached to the side of it.
You have 0 hours and 24 minutes of remaining drive time.
It's 3:30 or 3:38 right now. New Mexico, I read over the permits after the DOT lady wouldn't verify that I'm unrestricted on my nighttime travel. I read everything over. It specifically says that they call you the permittee. Permit allows 7-day continuous movement. Okay, I'm just gonna stop reading after that because there's a chance it would say something that would deem that statement to be, you know, invalid or like overrule that statement. I don't think it would be the fastest way, but it's the shortest way would be to run across, I mean, come in 54 like we are, but then run 40 all the way out to the Gallup area. Well, a little past Gallup. Let's see. Like Hallbrook, Arizona, I think is where we would jump on 377. So we'd run down through Payson, Arizona. A lot of people have been through that area. It's a really nice drive actually. I've been through there several times. It's not a great route to take whenever you're overweight. And the alternative to that was running, so you could run past that, which a lot of drivers do if they've been through that area and had a heavy load. They Don't like going through there again. There's normally always tow trucks pulling trucks that have like burned up their engines and stuff up these hills. So what a lot of people will just run 17. They don't even consider this route through Payson like an actual trucking route. It is a trucking route. It's actually one of the it's one of my, I wouldn't say favorite, but it's up there on the list of like, as far as scenery goes and stuff. It's pretty nice to drive through there. But being overweight, no, don't want to do that. I mean, we'd be fine. We're only 5,000 pounds overweight. They just got these like rolling hills where your brakes are hot and then your engine's hot, then your brakes are hot, your engine's hot, your brakes are hot. Like, it's back and forth. There's only really one, as far as the decline or the downgrade, it's actually not even as bad as I-17. Like, I-17 has that long downgrade. But this area, there's one stretch. I did feel like I was gonna die one time. My first time through there with a heavy, like, hazmat load of liquid totes. We can go look at the load real quick. Check on the chains. They're good. It would take an act of God to cause the 8 chains on this thing. I mean, now it is tall. It has a tall center of gravity. You know, I'm cornering and taking curves and everything pretty slow because you don't want to give that tall center of gravity any momentum. You don't want to give it any encouragement to try to tilt over and lean to one side or the other. But it's riding fine. I think I've tightened them one time since I took off, and they've been good ever since. And I'm pretty happy with this. This was where I had that little hub oil leak. But I think that Lucas, I just put like, I'd say an ounce or less of Lucas in it, that thickener stuff, and it's really stopped spitting oil out of that thing. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but the tire, let's see if I can turn a flash on. No. I'll try to get a picture of it later. But that was the tire that kind of got scalped. This is where I added 2 extra flags just hanging off of these little winches on the top deck. Because New Mexico, they did want 6 flags, no matter what I guess if it's just a permitted load, New Mexico wants 6 flags. So, even if it's just overweight, I think. So we've got 6 of them. Alrighty then. So we're 24 miles away from the Loves in Tucumcari. Oh, we gotta do a little grab and go stop in there for we gotta get some coffee.
Turn right. Stay in the right lane.
Didn't even know there was 2 lanes here.
For about 24 miles, continue straight.
This kind of looks like a shoulder. was gonna go to this Allsups, but I figured that place would fill up before a bar would. I mean, I think a lot of drivers are scared to park at a bar because they think their company's gonna look at where they're at and think they're getting hammered drunk. So it was only me and 2 other trucks whenever I pulled in there last night, and those 2 trucks had already left when I got up. But it looked like there was 5 or 6 other trucks that had come in since then. And there was another oversized park. There's like looked like a wide load parked out in the road, so on the shoulder. So that's a good spot to stop if you're, you know, in New Mexico on 54, either just got through Tucumcari or coming into Tucumcari, depending on which direction you're going. Logan, New Mexico. Pretty truck friendly. This little truck stop in Vaughn, New Mexico. There's an Allsups on 70 before you get to that missile range, or before you get to the area where they said it was
Starting route.
Closed.
Proceed to 8th Street, then turn right.
It should be open back up before we get down there. We're going to be taking it pretty slow. Actually lost ECM power while I was driving, so the issue that was causing my ignition I thought it was the ignition switch on the last load. Well, I knew it wasn't the ignition switch because I messed around with the wires in the battery box, so we ended up replacing those 2 cables, or we replaced those 2 connections with regular butt connectors, and they seem solid. But I was leaving the Loves in Tucumcari. That's hard to avoid all the potholes here.
Turn right onto 8th Street.
But I was leaving the Loves in Tucumcari. I just stopped to grab coffee. I told the broker that, hey, I've got continuous travel through New Mexico and Arizona, so
3.8 miles. Turn left.
I'm back on track to make it before 10 a.m. tomorrow. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm climbing the hills on I-40. I just lose all ECM power. So I've blown 2 steer tires. I'll say losing your ECM. You lose everything with ECM. It's way worse than blowing a steer. I mean, my ELD just went black instantly. Just everything shut down. I had no power steering. I really had no steering. It was hard to, I guess I really wasn't trying to steer too hard because thankfully my truck was kind of drifting towards the shoulder, and that's where I wanted to be. So I was just able to time it to where, when I got over there, I just hit the brakes and got stopped. But I wasn't able to get parallel with the shoulder, I just kind of, I was pointing off towards the ditch. Everything happened so fast. I don't know if I'm thinking I pulled it out of gear just in like a panic. And so I don't know if I would have left it in gear, if it might have tried to just fire back up like you're getting a pull start. But it didn't try to fire back up, but that might have been just because I didn't, you know, I was just drifting over towards the shoulder. So, but as soon as I got stopped, I mean, I didn't know what it was at first. I mean, I really, I was worried I wasn't gonna have any oil pressure when I tried to, you know, turn the engine over, but it ended up just being the same issue. Like, I turned the key on, before I even got out of the truck, I just turned the key on. Everything looked normal. The ELD started coming back on. I turned, you know, I cranked up fine. Oil pressure, everything looked perfectly normal. So something's going on behind, like downstream, I think, of those. At that place in Vaughn just now, I zip tied. There was 2 wires we replaced the connections on that I go to somewhere, you know, like the ignition circuit or the ECM, you know, the ECM power ignition circuit. It was the 2 that I messed with whenever the truck eventually just fired back up on the last load. So I zip tied those together in like 3 different places. And then there was one spot where like the sheath conduit was rubbed through, but the wire, you know, the jacket on the wire was still good. But I just I smeared some dielectric grease on that area, and then I just wrapped some I didn't even get electrical tape. I have like Gorilla Tape over there right by that door. So I just grabbed some Gorilla Tape, wrapped it around that area. I'm hoping those zip ties will maybe prevent, if it's wind, I'm hoping that'll just prevent whatever little movement is occurring that's causing it to either short out or lose its connection temporarily. But from here we've got 138 miles to get south of Alamogordo. We're basically on 54 the whole way. My permit says 65 miles an hour is the maximum speed I'm supposed to go through New Mexico anyway, so I mean really I'm following what the permit says. But I will probably start in a lower gear than I normally would going down, you know, any steep grades. I'll probably try to start at 55 miles an hour. I just don't ever want to be in the situation where if I slam on my brakes and the truck can't turn left or right, and you know, that won't bring the truck to a stop on the pavement. So we just passed 380, we're on 54, we're going down to get on to 70. And on that White Sands Missile Range, like, announcement when you call in, they talk about 380 and 70 both. So I'm thinking out to the right of us over in the mountain areas, I think is probably where that missile testing range, part of it is at least. But we're still like 50 miles from 70. So, I mean, I guess if you're testing missiles, you need some space. It's not like a little gun range. But that town we just passed through, where 54 crosses 380, there really wasn't anybody living there anymore, so I don't know. I mean, it looked all clean and well kept. There's literally nobody in that town. There's some cows out there grazing. Well, here's the actual White Sands Missile Range. Or I guess this is like a gate or entrance or something to it on 70. Pretty steep grades. It doesn't even look like you're going up a grade really, but I can feel it, and I'm slowing down. I've already had a downshift once, and I've already got the engine fan turned got it the second time, but I lost too much speed. So we're at 40 miles an hour. Temperature dropped to 197 now. Oil temp's already climbed from, it was sitting about 180 when we started, now it's up right under 200. 35. Highest oil temp 205. Mountain Pass, you just got to listen to some engine brakes. I mean, it's that, or everyone in your family is just at risk of losing their life if trucks are actually not using their engine brakes. We flattened out enough. We don't need it anymore, but I mean, we're still on a downgrade. I don't know if the camera recorded any of that, but I looked over, it shut itself off like 3 or 4 times from overheating. I rolled the windows down to try to get some airflow around it, but I don't know if that worked. Alright, 8.5 miles to I-25. We're running up to Deming, grab some fuel, and head into Arizona. Alright, we made it up to this Petro and Deming. All their fuel pumps, like, I'd say 70 to 80% of their fuel pumps are down. So, I was one of the lucky ones because I got to pull into one that had the driver's side pump still working. But we're about to try out this 30-minute break exemption. So right now, we just fueled up. We got 32 minutes left on our 8, 3 hours and 32 left on the 11. So I'm thinking if I do this exemption, it should just open up 3 hours and 32 minutes. I've never tried it before though, so.
Man, sorry if the girl top of my hose. It's gonna just attack me.
Yeah. Oh man. Back up? Okay. So the guy that's pressure washing, he's pressure washing the pumps that aren't working. One of my tires ended up on top of his hose, so I just had to back up for that. Okay, so I checked it off. Now let's see. Okay. Are you sure you want to apply the changes? Cancel. What did I put on here? Let me make sure. Rest break exemption. Okay. Okay. Alright. Now it just doesn't even show an 8 hour. It's like 11 hours. So we got 3 hours and 32 minutes. So we're good to go. Sweet. Alright, so we're just going to try to make it past the way station in Arizona, and we'll shut down and get ready to deliver tomorrow morning.